The king has returned to his throne. I'm back here in New York, and we're back here for a Boy Green Daily. It's weekly Woody time. Buckle your seat belts, people. Even on a bye week, it's a bye week game day, and we've got a few things to discuss. 3 takeaways: Christmas Jets, past, present, and future. Let's get into it. Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans. Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show. Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sikkema, baby. For me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas. Yes, that I do, handsome Trevor Sikkema. I do give the best podcast intros of all time, and I love to be constantly reminded of it because I'm an egocentric bastard. Without further ado, let's bring in our next guest, Weekly Woody, James Woody, the Woody expert on all things Woody. If there was a college and teaching some sort of class, Woodyology, he would be the professor, the El Presidente. And without further ado, it's time to bring him in because this is our final bye-week show. Tomorrow, we will flip the page and you will see a Giants logo appear above the head of our first guest. And we'll get right into it for Jets-Giants week. So without further ado, let's bring him in. James Woody Woohoo!
Woohoo! You already know we got the weekly Woody. It is today, just like every other Sunday, fun day. We got some things going. I love the intro. As you already know, it's the greatest of all time. That's why I'm out here. I'm out here waiting in the wings. I'm usually, looking almost like, Ray Lewis, right? Waiting for my time. My time is here. Professor of Woodyology is right here.
Well, I love it. First off, Woody, I guess I'll ask you this because, again, I told you a couple weeks ago it was weird. I think it had to have been Sunday Night Football that we watched football all day long and then football came for us later in the day. In this particular case, we're going to wait all day long and no football is coming, at least for Jet fans. And then we will get those primetime games we referenced a couple weeks ago again because you got Giants. You got Monday Night Football against the Chargers. You got Sunday Night Football against the Raiders after that. So there's a lot of prime time, a lot of chutzpah happening here. So I ask you this, Woody, what did you do on your bye week? What were your bye week plans? How did you take advantage of no Jets football or prep for a Jets game or anything of that nature?
I was expecting, I had written in my calendar, some cry days, but when the days came, no tears came out. Because you're 3-3, doing well, right? The defense is making me happy. Zach isn't throwing a bajillion turnovers, even though he really never has. He never has. I actually never thought that was going to be his MO. But the big thing is that we're 3-3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have a pulse. We're good. We're good. So I would say, this week, what has actually happened this week? Fun, just fun.
Yeah.
I'm out here just hugging my neighbors and just happy to be alive.
There you go. I love that energy. And there you go. Our professor of Woodyology. Now we have spoken it into existence and appreciate that. A few people have been asking about this. So Snowball, how's the leg? Yes, I had the torn ACL and all the surgery. I'm walking around like a normal person. So you think, oh man, nothing wrong with that guy. But I'll hopefully be returning back to Taekwondo, the martial arts that hopefully will this fat dad bod back into shape. Hopefully that'll be coming in a couple of months. So fingers crossed. We'll see what that looks like in the year 2024. So thank you very much for all of that juice. Wow, we're getting all the ideology of Woodyology. Man, this is taking off. So Beautiful. I'm glad that it's had this kind of impact. So without further ado, people, let's dive in. Class is in session. I was about to hit
Gavel?
not a gavel. There we go. I was trying to think of all my G words, looking in my filing cabinet upstairs, like G, 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 G. Here we are. So, yes, I was about to hit that, but that would make no sense for a class unless this was some other weird class. So, anywho, let's just get into it here. And this is our Woody 3, in this particular case, bi-week Woody 3. And we will look at past, present, and future of the 2023 Jet season. I love how you set this up, Woody. And of course, people can follow you at that very handle beneath that handsome mug of yours. So feel free to do that. And you guys can see this also on a week-to-week basis. But yeah, let's go first. Turn down for what?
Yes. I mean, hey, if there's any way that we can describe the past with one stat, with one area of the team, it is the turnovers. All right. And we not turning down. I hope we didn't turn down. We did not turn down during these first 6 games of the season. So it's pretty clear. I mean, the Jets are 3-1 when the defense gets more than 2 turnovers. And if you want to talk about that one, did we really lose or did the Swifties just win? I can't even say that was a bad Jets game. In fact, I think we all can agree that was actually Zach Wilson's best game of his career. So that is a huge key to our success. We are obviously winless, right? The Jets are winless when they don't get the 2 turnovers, and it didn't look pretty. I don't even want to talk point differential because I could have went that route too, right? Our point differential is this versus that. They are currently tied second in the league in takeaways. Okay, so they're doing great. Can they keep this up? Because this is kind of what happened last year. There was a point in last year, I want to say after the Packers game last year, that they were also in the top 3 in takeaways, and then they went pretty much the whole rest of the year getting 2 or 3 takeaways. There was 2 in that Bills game, and then 1 on Trevor Lawrence. And sorry, 1 and Brett Ripien against the Bears as well. So they just struggled the whole rest of the year after their bye last year. So hopefully
Trevor Siemian, not Brett Ripien. That's former Jets legend Trevor Siemian, who they had in that game.
Yes.
But
And
anyway.
current Jets, I don't even know. Current Jets,
whatever
somebody.
word, some adjective. Yeah. But that's my question is what's at the end of your bullet point. So, that's a great stat. It's juicy. It's great to see them turning the ball over to become this opportunistic defense. That's phenomenal. That's, again, it's an oblong-shaped ball, and it bounces in all kinds of ways. So, for the Jets to have it bouncing this way, this often is incredible, and they're taking advantage of it. But is it sustainable? Because to your point, you mentioned the last year where they had all those starters like, hey now, and then boom, all fell off hill. And they're obviously, and I don't mean this in an insulting way, a big part of turnovers is luck. Again, I mentioned an oblong-shaped football, and it goes all over the place. And we've seen Jordan Whitehead last year drop a bunch of interceptions, not catch them all. So I'm hoping, for me, I don't know if it's sustainable at this level, the 2+ turnovers, in these games to be able to tell the difference, the line of delineation between one or the other. But I'm hoping that the turnovers are almost buoying. Yeah, you didn't know that word was going to get involved in the show today. You're welcome. That it would kind of buoy this team until, the offense, remember, even before Zach Wilson, they were learning a brand new Aaron Rodgers offense. The rest of the team, not Aaron Rodgers, but they were learning a brand new Aaron Rodgers offense, chemistry, Hackett, play caller, all that crap. So when Zach Wilson gets inserted in, they're all still learning. Plus, Zach Wilson is trying to figure out what the offense looks like under his leadership because it wasn't exactly the same. So I'm hoping as that carries the team for a little bit, that eventually it's almost like, I'm going to butcher this because last week or one of these weeks, I messed up the Oliver Twist thing. And then now I'm going to mess up another thing, but something in the race where you're passing one baton from another racer racer, another person who is also running to another.
We talking about the relay. I'm here.
Relay. Thank you very much. Yeah, you're passing the baton. I'm hoping the Jets turnovers on defense, with the chariot flame music going, and they go, and then like they're like, and they're like reaching, and then Zach Wilson's like, thank you, one-handed. Oh. And then he just starts getting in a nice little power jog action. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for, because I don't think the turnovers can be, again, we could still see a bunch of weeks with it, but I think it will be more spurty than consistent. This Jets defense can be great. And the other thing that will help them, and it's helped them in a few of these situations, is once they get up a little bit, or they really just kind of turn up the pressure in weird ways where it's not just all out kitchen sink blitzes, but Jeff Goldberg has been very creative. The Eagles game is a great example of the unique ways they're able to get pressure on Jalen Hurts. And that's the thing to me that revs my engine, because I think that could carry over to other momentum of other parts of the team, whether special teams or Zach Wilson or what have you. So turned down for what? I think it still could continue. I think there will be spurts. I don't think we're going to have this seismic drop off like last year, but other parts of the team have to carry the torch if they're going to continue to excite and have all these splashes that we've seen so far this season, I think. Absolutely.
Hey, I wholeheartedly agree. It is unrealistic, especially when you look at specifically the Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Hurts. I mean, there were 9 turnovers in those 3 games, so that actually boosted up to 3 per. I don't expect that is not a realistic prediction to say that we're going to have that every game. So that's why the second point, the present, right during the bye week. What should this team be focused on, right? We already talked about the past and how they've, got here in the past, but what should they be doing now to prepare for the New York Giants? They need to work on this gold zone. For those of you that don't know, Nathaniel Hackett, offensive coordinator, he refers to the red zone as the gold zone.
That he does.
He is respected as somebody who has a great scheme, a great package of red zone concepts, schemes, right? This is he played gold member on Hard Knocks, right, to get people excited about this gold zone. And I'm not even gonna lie, somebody in the comments last week actually said fool's gold and inspired me. I cannot remember. I'm so sorry, I cannot remember who it was, but I do remember the comment, and now it's here. Number 2, fool's gold. I mean, over the last 3 games specifically, between the defense and Zach looking more comfortable, they've actually been the 4th most populous team in the red zone, the 4th in the league getting to the red zone, yet they are 4th last in actual turnovers in the red zone. So that is an unbelievably embarrassing statistic. They're 2nd worst in the whole league in percentage. And it's
so should we, real quick, I guess I already know your answer with the disdain and disgust that you're spewing from your pie hole, but on one sense, getting there a lot is great. That means they're moving the ball. This offense isn't doing, the Adam Gase 3 and outs where like nothing's happening. Like things are happening. They're just not finishing. Is that a sign of encouragement that you're getting all the way to the doorstep and it's just about doing this or that? Because Robert Saleh continues to say this and then does this hand motion. We're so freaking close, man. We're so freaking close, baby. We're right there. We're so freaking close. And then I say, like, technically he is correct. I mean, they're literally right there. Is it just a slight tweak of the bye week all of a sudden? Because think about this. If they're getting to the red zone, gold zone, as often as they are, and they start scoring points, then all of a sudden, this Jets win of, we won by 3. Oh, we won by 10. We won by this. Like, all of a sudden, that could potentially explode. And the Jets have a lot more dramatic victories if they're turning those 3s into 7s. All of a sudden, because we know Zerline is automatic from the extra point range. But that's my question, is that should we be optimistic about that fun fact, or still no, Paul, look at the gosh darn gold zone. It still sucks terribly, and like cool. It's great that we're getting all the participation trophies of going there, but we need to have a different perspective. So where do you lean there?
I definitely lean toward there's a lot of work to be done, and it's not always the offense that gets us there, to this gold zone. In each of those 3 games, there's been at least one opportunity that was presented by the defense, a turnover.
Yeah.
Where they start in the gold zone and either go 3 and out or get a first down, and then we still, have Zuerlein come in and kick the field goal. And hey, my fantasy football team, Walt Zuerlein is the team name. I mean, hey, I'm not gonna lie, we eating good over on that team. But I would love if the actual football team could eat good and, like you said, turn those 3s into 7s. So I don't really feel too good, about that.
Okay.
Because I don't think, are the Jets consistently marching down the field? I would say no. There's still a lot of 3 and outs. They still have the league's worst 3rd down conversion rate. But with the defense not turning down for what, right? And some good plays, like that nice 40-yard pass to Garrett. Like we see it in spurts.
Chunky.
But I would argue that we've seen it in spurts every year.
Fair enough.
Darnold was marching down. There were times where Darnold was marching down. So I wouldn't get too hyped. But what definitely needs to happen is that once we get there, no matter how we get there, whether Breece Hall got us there, Zach Wilson got us there, or Quincy Williams got us there, they need to execute. They need to execute.
All right, which takes us to our last bullet point. I can never get those AirPlay things to work. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm like an old man with some of this technology, but AirPlay mode?
Yes. I will not lie. It actually makes me feel like my ears are not shaped the right way. I don't know. Like
I can't tell anyway because your hair, but I'll take your word for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey. I mean, because they always fall out. They fall out. Like I don't know. Like, do I need to have a surgery to fix my ear shape so that these AirPods? I don't know, but all I do know is that I will be the happiest person in all of the land.
Wow.
If the great Aaron Rodgers returns to the
graces
field.
us with his presence.
Yes. I mean, he has graced us, right? We've seen him throwing the football before the Eagles game, but to suit up in pads the same year, what will that do to the team? And this is actually something that you said, Boy Green, about the power of Aaron Rodgers, the spirit of Aaron Rodgers, and how that was going to uplift them in the Chiefs game. And here I was looking like the white Shrew from The Office. I was like, no, that's false. That's false. You're wrong. And here you are. Oh, so there you are, right? And you are correct. You were correct.
Of course.
Right? And then here in the Eagles game, throwing the football, lifting the team. If they see Aaron in the building and seeing him progress, that's like, okay, everybody needs to be on their P's and Q's so that when he comes back, he's obviously not going to come back if we only have 6 wins and it's December, right? There's no point, right? He's but if they are competing for a playoff spot, he will be back to lead us there. So that's the thing that is elevating the team. And when he gets there, there's no way, I would assume there's no way the gold zone will be looking as foolish as it currently does.
No, I couldn't agree more. And again, I think it's a beautiful encapsulation. Another word you didn't think was getting enough play on today's show, that you get this ghost of past, present, and future here as we look at these possibilities for the Jets of what they've been able to accomplish. Some of what we've seen and how to interpret it. Again, they shout out to Austin Powers Gold member, which Nathaniel Hackett is a huge fan of. I love the series as well. Foxy Cleopatra can hit me up anytime, baby. And then airplay mode of that possibility of Aaron Rodgers potentially coming back. But for him to come back, as you said, James, the Jets have to handle their business. They have to do that. And that's a big thing for me as we head into the second half of the season. We'll actually answer a question or two that's here in the chat as well. But as we head into this, there's no more Eagles. There's no more Chiefs. Those teams are not on the schedule. Of course, you got your divisional games, and those are challenges in themselves. But you've got, off the top of the dome, Giants, Chargers, Raiders, Falcons, Texans, Commanders. I mean, you have the Patriots again, and their only win is against you. You haven't played the Dolphins. That still baffles me, but that's neither here nor there. So we could realistically almost, if Woody, you were at quarterback, we would have been 4-2, but that's okay. We can't change the Christmas past, so we got to deal with that. But you know what? You look at all those games I just said off the head, and I know there's games in between that. And then you have that Browns game. Who's playing quarterback? The Browns defense really good, so I don't know how all that looks, but you know what? But I count all those wins up, and I think there's a massive potential here, which my father has a couple of comments that's certainly stirring up the audience, but we'll start off with this one. He asked, bi-week report card for Heavy on Jets, renewed predictions for the season. So we did this a little bit with the beautiful and amazingly talented Kimberly Cantoni, the former Jets Pro Bowl cheerleader, on the show yesterday. James, you're just as pretty. I just want to make sure you know that. And we talked a little bit about these predictions. She predicted that the Jets would finish 12-5. Like even with all the knowledge we know now, that they will still go 12-5. Which it sounds crazy, and then you look at the schedule a little bit. You're like, hey, don't put that goddamn shirt down right now, man. You put that gosh darn shirt down right now, pal. So why don't you give it to us real quick? Let's give our let's answer my father's question here. Predictions. We'll just kind of combine it into this with a lack of time. What is your prediction? Again, so whatever you said before the year, whatever, 9-8, 10-7, whatever, you're getting a mulligan right now. You get to throw that out and you get to redo it based on all the information you have right now and the fact that the Jets are 3-3. Give us a prediction on the final regular season record, in your opinion, right now with everything you know. Go.
I will go with 9-8.
Bleh. That's still better. I like a winning season. I haven't seen that since 2015, so that's positive. Is that playoffs?
No, I don't think. I mean, the AFC is kind of struggling. Like the North is not doing as well.
Yeah,
as we
Miami
thought.
was 9-8 last year. They made the playoffs as the 7th seed.
It's possible. It's possible we can. That also assumes that it's Zach Wilson the whole year. You know, I'm saying if it's that, Aaron doesn't. There is no airplay mode. We don't have the Wi-Fi on. I'm saying 9-8. Maybe sneak into the playoffs. I'm not sure, but that doesn't really depend on us. It depends on, can the Chargers get back to life? Can the or the Bengals, all those other teams that would be taking wild card spots.
Yeah, I'm taking 10-7. Again, I don't. Okay, her 12 wins sounds crazy because that would tie the most regular season wins the Jets have ever had in a season. That was 1998. But when you look at the opponents on a week-to-week basis to try to come up to that number, you can get to that number. The problem is can we assume that the Jets competed with the gods, the Eagles, the Chiefs? They beat the Bills. They competed with the best of the best of the best. Does that automatically mean that they will not play down to the worst of the worst of the worst? That's my big thing.
The Patriots only won once against the New York Jets.
Yeah, I was on the Can't Wait podcast with Zach Rosenblatt and the Athletic people, and they said if you would have power ranked the games, so here's the 6 games, what's the easiest one to win, what's the hardest one to win? They argued that the hardest one to win before the season would have been the Eagles game. No friggin' way. The stack of the roster, the scheme, and all this stuff, they wouldn't have won. And then the host of the show, Tim McMaster-Millie, said, well, the Patriots would have been the easiest. And we see what happened. So, again, to your point, we've already seen it in the microcosm of this first 6 games that, they have proven not to be able to do that, although it's a small sample size. So let's see. But again, coming out of this bye week, where Robert Saleh's 0-2 all time as a coach, playing an inferior Giants team, it does not sound like Daniel Jones is playing today. And again, that doesn't necessarily matter for the Jets game, but him not playing for a second straight week means we could see Tyrod Taylor. But even if it's the broken ghost of Daniel Jones or Tyrod Taylor, that's a game you should dominate. That Giants offensive line may be the worst offensive line I've ever seen. So that's a game you need to dominate and flex your muscles. Will they? we'll see. And maybe that kind of sets the tone for the second half of the season. My father believes they will be 7-10, which is incensed every Jets fan in this chat, naturally speaking. So there you go. And here's this. Oh, this comment did not go over well. The Jets quarterback room sans Rodgers may be the worst in football. Criminal. That Jets defense deserves better. Although I think a lot of people were also saying that Zach Wilson in there was 33rd out of 32 possible teams. Although I would say that he's performed obviously much better. Something clicked in him getting beat up leading into that Chiefs game from Namath and fans and media, and he hit something. Now, again, when I say hit something, he's not going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but he's thrown like one interception, like 150 attempts or something. Like, so, there's been legitimate change from last year. It's not squinting. It's not hoping. We've seen it, but we need to see a little bit more, of that Chiefs game to truly get a sense. But I saw my father was stirring up the Jet fans in the chat, and they did not appreciate it. And they are all fighting in the social media streets, and I just need my popcorn. But nonetheless, I want to make sure that we worked all of that in there. So again, I am saying 10-7 to repeat. I believe that the Jets could win more than that, but I'm assuming there's slip-ups along the way, whatever that looks like. Hopefully that's not more injuries, but again, that's the test of a team, whether or not you can beat the teams you're supposed to beat. The Jets proved they can beat teams they're not supposed to beat, according to the experts, like the Eagles and the Bills even. But the real test of a team is whether they can beat the teams they're supposed to beat. The Giants are a team you should beat. The Chargers is a winnable game on Monday Night Football. The Raiders, they're playing Brian Hoyer today. Brian Hoyer. Yes. And Herbert, by the way, as sexy as it sounds on paper, you look at the numbers and look at some of his inconsistencies, especially in the Cowboys game last week. He's missing wide open guys. I mean, I have no fear in okay, let me put that back. Herbert's a really talented quarterback, but like with all that I've seen, it's not like, oh, we have a demigod walking in here. That's gettable to me. And the Chargers have the worst defense in the NFL. So you pair that. The Raiders are starting Brian Hoyer, and they have a disaster happening over there with all their other stuff. And then you have the Giants. That, to me, smells like 3 wins in a row. Not obviously they've won 2 in a row, so it'd be more than that with the math. But I'm
trying to smell I'm trying to smell it.
So it's possible, but again, we will see. My father, a little flexibility here, as we're going to be wrapping up. 9-8 is possible, but he's sticking to 7-10. So nice job, Woody. Nice job trying to convince him and woo him. But nonetheless, he is sticking with his third place.
I agree with your dad about the QB room. I agree with him about the third place. I feel a lot of people putting on the rose tinted glasses, but the way that the Jets have won every single game is just not. It's not a sustainable method of winning games. So unless they do change, which we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it. Then it will be really tough to win more games than they lose. I had that happening anyway because of the strength of the roster, which you have said. But the way that this team is built right now, they cannot win a shootout. If Justin Herbert does, right, because that game against the Cowboys was the first game that they did not score 23 points. That was the first time all season they did not score more than 23 points. The Jets haven't even scored 23 points in the season yet. Not even once. So they cannot win a shootout with anybody.
Well, I mean, outside of the Cowboys game, I guess they didn't need to.
They could. Yeah. In the Patriots game, they could have scored 15. They could have scored 15 for the win.
Time out. Hold. Wait. Cut that out in post. Yeah. That one again. I just. It sucks watching, and now we're just droning on here, but it sucks watching the Patriots be terrible because the following 2 weeks after the Jets game, they were outscored. I think it was 75-7. I believe that was 75-3. Yes. There you go. 75-3 over the next 2. Come on, man. The Patriots implode the moment after the Jets game. What in God's great? Like the Mac Jones dumbass turnover. So, it is what it is. But the point is guys, enjoy your last football Sunday of nothingness, because then it's just going to be a marathon of games on a week-to-week basis. We've got a loaded Jets-Giants week. I got some guests joining us for the first time this season. Names I think you will know, but we will wait, and you guys will get the little notes and quotes once those are official. But keep an eye out. We got a little mini celebrity, maybe a former Jets player on the show this week. So, guys, butter your bread, butter your biscuits, and get ready for some football. And we'll be ready for Jets Giants week starting tomorrow on the show. Woody, as always, thank you for your grind during the bye week. Not a lot of people would have done this, but you, my friend, oh yeah, you put in the work.
Hey,
We appreciate that.
Woodyology, baby. All right, we still in the semester.
Thanks, Professor, and I appreciate the pop quiz randomly in the middle of Boy Green Day. All of that, all that's fair game. So we'll prepare. We'll get ready for next Sunday, Sunday school, and we're looking forward to what lessons you have to bestow upon us for that Jets-Giants game, Snoopy Bowl. They don't call it that anymore, but Snoopy Bowl action, and we'll see what that looks like. Appreciate you, brother. There he is.
Shut up.
Woodyology. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy your football Sunday. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 7:30. Take care.